All right, welcome to my latest little road trip. I called it a mini road trip because I didn't go very far, but I did go to three different states. Uh, Ohio, West Virginia, and PA, in that order. That was kind of fun. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but hey, it worked. So I'm going to be doing a voiceover after the fact, just because, kind of didn't have the mic hooked up to the laptop so I could record while I was driving. There's where I usually start out these things from. Neat looking cemetery. That's Lake Park Cemetery, by the way. In beautiful Boardman, Ohio. Hey, I wonder what these boxes are, these new boxes at the bottom of these giant new poles they put in. Alright, nothing much interesting happens. For a while. I'm going to go double speed on this. Alright, here I had to pee, so I stopped at my shop for a minute. The electronics shop, anyway. I'm going to fast forward past that because you don't need to see me walk in there and then walk back out, waiting a few minutes in between. Okay. That felt better. Now back onto the road. We're heading towards Columbiana this time. By the way, that's not a school anymore. Checking to make sure the camera's still on. Yep. She's on. Woohoo. Let's go. Come on, get in. Let's go. Get in the dang truck. And we're off. This doesn't really require commentary. I'll jump back on when we need to. Alright, welcome to Columbiana. Now you might have noticed there's a horse and buggy sign back there. There are no horses and buggies in Columbiana. It's not Amish territory, it's Mennonites. That distinction has always bothered me because I don't think there's a single Amish person that ever goes to Columbiana. Well, except they go in their Yoder toters, they go to the laundromat. Oh, you see where I ran that yellow light? I had a super close, obnoxious tailgater. They were like a half a car length off my back bumper, and I didn't want to jam on the brakes. That's a good way to get hit. So here's downtown Columbiana. They're trying to just bypass it now and just build everything out at Firestone Farms instead. There's the theater and all that stuff, the circle. I'm taking a left here to take a little bit of cool scenery like that old, the low bridge down here and stuff. That's a cool looking thing. It eats a truck every so often. I like these old industrial areas that have got like an industry and houses at the same place, pre-zoning. And up here on the left is Phil's Sales and Service, the local Kubota dealer. That would be right about here. Then the flea market on the right. That burnt down, they built it back up. That used to be a really cool place. Like this real old style store. Flea market thing. Hopefully my voice is not playing in fast forward like the video is. Here's Route 11. You can pause it if you want to look closer or slow the video down. I think there's a way to do that on YouTube. Wow, too bad I couldn't drive like this on the road while I was recording it. That would have been taking a lot of time off the trip. A lot of cool stuff out here to see, and the snow makes it look better sometimes. I like it better in the summer because everything's green. Ooh. Country scene. My kind of place. This might make somebody a nice desktop background. Actually, a lot of places along this trip might make somebody a nice desktop background. If I had cleaned the damn housing for the camera off. Of course, it was clean when I started. Maybe it got dirty while I was on the road or something. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, we should be coming up into Lisbon pretty soon. There's some really nice scenery out this way. I like the area. Alright, here's Lisbon, or at least coming into Lisbon. This is a hard intersection because you got to turn your head 915 degrees. There's the Columbiana County Fairgrounds off to the right there. Gonna go through downtown Lisbon. I remember down here at this traffic light, they used to have a really old but bad controller for the traffic lights. And these ancient traffic lights they had there, and sometimes they'd turn red and green at the same time, and you couldn't tell what the hell's supposed to do. I stopped here just to check the camera. My father bitched me out one time because I ran through it when it was red and green at the same time. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And there's a steel trolley diner on the right. That's kind of cool. It's one of very few left. It's a historic landmark, I guess. Yeah. Like, what are you supposed to do when the light's red and green at the same time? I mean, it was green when I was coming up to it, and it was red and green. So, like, is it red or green? Instead of explaining to me that you should treat a malfunctioning light as a red, he just bitched. They just can't get past things. You gotta let it go, man. I know, alright? Just tell me how to do it right, and then I'll do it right next time. Okay, I think that flashback's about done. Here we are heading towards Wellsville on State Route 45, I believe. Or no, this is not 45 yet. This is 30, I think. Because we join up with 45 right about where Route 11 is. Nice little cruise. Right about this point, I've got a tailgater. I think I'll show the video if I can. This is a lot easier to voice over when it's going at 4 times the speed. Yeah, I know I said double, but it's 4 times because, hey, whatever. Alright, Route 11 should be right down here somewhere. Yep, there should be. Then right before that, there's a turn. There's 45. So I guess we were on 45 and 30 at the same time, technically. There's some cool looking stuff out this way. I'd like to see this in the summer again. That's a big old hill. Not like Smoky Mountains kind of hill, but for being in Ohio, it's a big hill. And it's curvy. I got motion sick about halfway up this. Trying to get myself used to that so I can... Whoops, the video is going to switch here. Okay, we're on a new segment of video. It goes to a new segment every... I think it's like a half an hour or something. Real time, which is a lot shorter and 4 times speed. But we're still cruising towards Wellsville, heading through all the neat looking stuff and all the things they haven't managed to gentrify yet. There's no zoning in the township I'm in here. So I'm just riding along, going through the curbs, going up over the hills. Pretty soon we're going to come across a big holler. Nice little church there. The hills get steep on the other side. This is still the going up part. Okay, here comes the downhill part. I can imagine when this used to be like a dirt road back in the 30s or 40s. Off to the right, you can see that's a lot deeper than it looks. A lot deeper and a lot steeper. It's like a sheer drop off, and it goes down a couple 100 feet. It's like a little tiny wide spot in the road where everybody built their stuff. And here's Wellsville. Wow. I got down that a lot faster than I thought we would, while considering the fact that it took me a long time to get down it when I drove it. And the person behind me wasn't even tailgating. That was weird. I accidentally went straight ahead instead of taking the road to the right. So I had to go. I didn't feel like turning around, so I just went all the way down to East Liverpool. And pretty soon here goes the person behind me who was not tailgating, believe it or not. It's a new car. It's a new Bronco, and they weren't riding my ass. That was weird. I should play the lottery today. I remember a long time ago, like 25 years ago, they did a whole bunch of work to this. It was back when I still lived at the old farmhouse. They did a bunch of blasting on that hillside. Here's downtown, well, sort of downtown East Liverpool. We're getting into it. They did a ton of blasting on that hillside. That construction lasted for years, and it was millions of dollars and everything else. Because rocks used to fall down on the road. And sometimes it was a huge-ass boulder. Or technically not a boulder. It was I don't know, thousands of tons worth of rock in one chunk. Up here I was trying to get in the other lane, and this guy was hanging out on the left side of my truck, like maybe there was, boobs or something painted on the side of it. I don't know. All right, up here I stopped at the Dollar General and got some eats. Stretch out my bad knee a little bit. That looked like a handicap spot, so I moved it a little bit. Like, I ain't messing with that. So after I get down in the dollar store in East Liverpool, I check out the camera and I accidentally bump it into car mode, so it does 3-minute segments instead of 30-minute segments. That's rather annoying. But I still managed to edit the video together. So I'll take a little roll through downtown East Liverpool here. And I make a wrong turn and another wrong turn, and end up on some little back road coming up between East Liverpool and Calcutta. Although I did always wonder where that little back road was. Now I found it. Fortunately, the bumps on this back road didn't knock the battery out of the camera like it does sometimes. Really surprised me that the camera ran for the whole trip, like there and back. So I found this little pull-off, and I was like, well, I got to pee really bad, so I did. I picked up, you might be able to see me pick up a little piece of garbage here I seen on the No, you didn't. Nah. Well, I stopped and I checked the admission rate for the next thing we're going to go to. Whoosh. There's Route 11 in the foreground, or in the background, or what? Well, farther ahead. Ohio Route 11. We're still in Ohio. This is still part of East Liverpool, or St. Clair Township. I was thinking about getting a place down there, but the zoning is just, well, zoning. I mean, never, ever, ever going to get a place where there's zoning because you can't do what you want to do with it. And that's terrible. So back into downtown East Liverpool we go, past the dollar store and down this cool little alley. Some really cool old industrial buildings down here. Round roof. I stopped for a minute, got out, checked the camera just to make sure she was still going. Like, wow, somebody from PA doing the speed limit. Holy crap. Pulled ahead, went down to 5th Street or Avenue or Way or Drive, whatever it is. Now, at the end of here, there's something kind of cool. Not super, super cool, but kind of cool. It is the Newell Bridge. Now, online they said the admission was 75 cents, but it actually says it's $1. So it took me a little bit to dig out another quarter. Out we went. I don't know why the light didn't turn green. I didn't notice that, but he said, thanks, you have a nice day. So I was like, all right, go. There's the Newell Bridge. Going over it in 1-to-1, real time. I've never gone over this before. I've gone past it a million times. But this is the first time today I've ever gone over this bridge. And it's kind of cool. I like it. I mean, it'd be terrifying for normal people because if you look down through the grate, there's just river. But that's a really cool thing. I like just watching it. Next time I got to do it in 4K. Look at that mountain on the other side. Or should call it a hill because it's not really that big of a mountain. Uncle Bud be like, that's just a little grade. That ain't no hill. He was awesome. I miss him and Aunt Dot. So you got to sit way, way back for the traffic light because, people doing stuff. That's kind of odd because you're not allowed to take semi-trucks across there. Although you are allowed to have trailers. There's not much room at the end of there to turn. After this, it goes back to high-speed mode. That was really cool, though. I've never been over this bridge, but I liked it. I'm going to do it again. There's a toll gate only at one end. Oh, I know. The normal reason that I didn't go over it was because I didn't like driving a car in that small a space, but now I'm used to it. And the other thing was I was poor. I didn't have like 50 cents. I couldn't spare the 50 cents because I needed it for extra gas. Maybe I should drive down to Mountaineer Park next time. I think it's still called Mountaineer, isn't it? The horse race track, I think it is, down on Route 2. Down south of Chester. By the way, this is the first time I've been in West Virginia for about 5 years. I think the last time I was in West Virginia was 2020. That was to help a friend of mine get like a treadmill or something, or some kind of exercise machine that I probably never use. Well, it's a clothing rack. I mean, what the heck? But downtown, I think that's Chester. I'm pretty sure it's Chester because it's right across the river from East Liverpool. Neat looking little town. It hasn't been gentrified out of existence yet. There, I missed my turn. So we take this road down here and get on and do some generic farting around. Get to the end of the road. The road doesn't go much farther past there along the river. It just stops. There's one industrial plant up here. Just kind of no more road. Like, well, I ain't going in there. That looks expensive. So I turned around. Stop, go, turn left. Get on Route 30 and go into Soviet Pennsylvanistan. Neat looking building again. We get some real cool looking stuff over in PA. I mean, old downtown East Liverpool is kind of cool, and the bridge is really cool, but there's something even really cooler. One of these times, I'm going to drive the entire length of Route 2 in West Virginia. That dude in the white car was going real super slow. I was like, dude, just go so I can go. I'm not going to cut in front of you. That's, besides the fact that that's ignorant, that's also illegal, and I need my good, clean driving record to stay good and clean. Thank you very much. This almost looks like Diesel Crick's territory there. I mean, we get pretty close to some places that he goes. I think he's farther south, though. Southwest PA. I know he goes up and down National Pike out by Steuben, well, towards Steubenville a lot. Not necessarily by Steubenville. Maybe I'll go out there and video the road down there, too. That looks kind of cool. Yeah, I'm too cheap to pay for music, so I just like to talk about it the whole time. This is a nice countryside, too, although I think they're trying to make the road wider and ruin it. I don't remember that 4-lane section at the bottom of the hill ever being that big. Yeah, we're going to make a left up here pretty soon. I think a couple intersections down. This semi-truck in front of me is booking. It was 45. I was doing 50, and he was pulling away from me pretty good. At least until we get up to the uphill section. Then I turn left, and he turns right. Then we go see some more cool stuff. This is US 30 eastbound going from West Virginia to PA, by the way. There's my turn. Now we're on 168, PA 168. And if you've ever gone on that road, you know what's up ahead. I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody who hasn't seen it. Although you've probably seen it in the description of the video. If not, be prepared to be prepared. Up here I realized why people were making dirty looks at me and yelling and making obscene gestures and things. For the last few days, somebody ran into my truck and it broke the connector off of the turn signal on the back of it. It didn't hurt it any because the lens is already broken. The reflector on there was already broken, so I just kind of, pain in the ass, but such is life. Boy, that's pretty out this way. That's some nice looking countryside. I think we're going down the hill now. The big hill. Toward the river. Here's about where I picked up another tailgater. Like I ain't gonna do 80 mile an hour in a 40 zone, even if you're in a hurry. You should have left earlier. Like the teachers used to tell me at school when the friggin', oh there it is, cool. There's a cool thing. That's what they always used to say. You should have left earlier. And the milk truck blocked the driveway. He parked all the way across the dang driveway. Took him an hour to move the damn thing. Like, you got your own parking spot, dude. I lived on a dairy farm. So just, park in the parking spot. Don't park in the driveway. Because I got to leave in the morning. That dude come in at 5:30 in the morning. So I ain't leaving at 5:30 in the morning to get a skull. This on the left is the coal power plant, I believe. The nuclear one was the first one we saw. Now up here is something really cool. I went up here to look for a turnaround spot. I found a turnaround spot with an extra bonus in it. See that black thing there? That is a 205/60 16 tire in good shape, which I will demonstrate right here. Woohoo! Tire. You can also see my crappy phone. It's a Motorola. I was rather angry that it sticks out of my pocket that far. It's ruining all my shirts because it's stretching them out weird. These stupid new phones, they call it like a ply phone because it's the size of a sheet of plywood. Start making little phones again, dude. What the hell? I don't need to browse the internet on this stupid thing. Or if I do, it's very sparingly. Okay, that's the Beaver Valley Nuclear Power Station up ahead. That's awesome. I like nuclear power. I'm in favor of it. Being science-minded, that's what goes. I like solar, too. But it's got to be done right. Okay, there's the power station off to the left. You can actually see the water flowing through the doohickey. The cooling tower, I guess they'd call it. And right at this point, I've got a Tesla about half a car length off of my back bumper. They followed me for God knows how long. Well, actually, like 5 or 10 miles. Douche. There's Midland, PA. We used to haul slag pots out of here, out of the Wemco steel plant, to go to Ecorse, Michigan. The Levy plant up there that serviced River Rouge Steel Mill. Steel Mill. I remember down here one time I had to go find a gas station that had isopropyl dry gas because all our air lines froze up in the truck and the brakes got stuck on. We had I think it was a 9-axle combination. There was the front axle of the truck, 2 axles, and then 2 axles on the Jeep, 2 axles on the deck of the trailer, and 2 axles on the Stinger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. A neat little town. I think this thing has had numerous severe economic setbacks. It's getting kind of rough. They've got zoning, but you can't. I don't like zoning, by the way, but you just can't zone business back into. The only thing you can really do is zone it out of town. If you make it harder to do stuff, you make it harder to bring jobs into town. Harder for people to move in. I mean, you can get some slobs out there, but who cares? Well, my property value is going to go down. Yeah, that's good. Now your taxes are going to go down too. Anyways, okay, rant over for now. We used to take Route 11 down into Calcutta, go to Sheets, fuel up, fill the trucks up, and then come down this little road over the hill, right down into Midland. It was real nice. I'm doing the speed limit this whole time, too, by the way. So up we go. The heat finally starts working at this point because the truck's warm enough. Well, the heater core is a piece of crap. There's the Ohio state line again. Welcome back to Ohio. There's a non-compliant sign back there a ways. There goes a Ford. The Ford actually passed the Tesla. He was riding their ass. And up the hill we go. Toward Calcutta. And it looked like number 1 Snyder Tire and Electronics is gone. I don't see it anymore. I used to like to go there and buy CBs and antennas and stuff. Never bought a tire there because up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I could never afford a brand new tire. The first brand new tire I ever bought in my life was in 1999, I think, or early 2000. And I couldn't really afford it, but I had to because I was stuck. Well, I'm glad I can afford things now, thank the good Lord. If you don't like the good Lord, you can thank the bad Lord, whoever you want to thank. Or the indifferent Lord, whichever one you've got. I'm not going to tell you what to do. All right, so this is Calcutta. We didn't go like downtown or anything. I just stayed on the outskirts. Now we're heading. This is I forget what the name of the road is. It's a big long name. It starts with S, and I memorized it earlier, and then I forgot what it was again. But it meets up with Route 7 up in Rogers. Yeehaw. The Dirt Mall. Well, like a mile from the Dirt Mall, or maybe half a mile from it. This is some nice countryside, too. I like it. I used to go up and down through here all the time because I did support for the ISP I worked for, and they'd have me go out to all these houses in the middle of nowhere and hook the computers up to the internet over dial-up, which is... We had 56K, but most of our clientele was on such bad phone lines out in the middle of nowhere that we could only get 24K out of it, if that. We had some people that were way out in completely the middle of nowhere hooking in at 9600. That's a neat little, I think it's an old mill or something down at the bottom of this hill. I'll have to come back and check it out sometime again. By this point, I was starting to get motion sickness from driving around too much. I got to get used to driving around because I really, really need a road trip. A far road trip, not a little one like this. But this is a good practice one. The more I drive, the better, hopefully, it'll work out of the system. So we're heading towards the Rogers. Towards the Rogers? Towards Rogers and that. You ain't going down Rogers and that. Go down Rogers Dirt Mall and that. Well, look at this countryside here. Once it starts going up and down a little bit more, it gets even better. Sprucevale Road, that's what it is. Had a lot of clients, a lot of customers on Sprucevale Road at the ISP. That's a long road. I can't believe I drove up and down this all the time back in the day. That's crazy. It didn't pay me for gas either. Like, well, you can take it off of your taxes. Yeah, right. I didn't make enough to get any kind of credit or anything. Okay, that email was nothing bad. That's good. Okay, here we are, Rogers, Ohio, as you can tell by the sign and the fact that everything's cool because it's Rogers. So I was looking at a property down here too, but I can't find it. I can't find the road that goes to it, so I think it might be landlocked. I'm not doing that. I was just driving around here trying to see if I could find anything. Trying to find a way into that property, but it's behind a bunch of stuff. I don't think there's a way in. There's the fire department on Farr Street, Farr. So the fire department's on Farr Street. Jocular. Yes, very droll. Yeah, jocular. Yeah, very droll. There's the Dollar General that ruined the Save-A-Lot down here. I missed this Save-A-Lot that was down here. They tore it down and built something else. Yellow light, not red. That really sucks, because that was a cool Save-A-Lot. It was small. It had like a community bulletin board. It was a really cool store. I love the little grocery stores. I always try to go to them and buy as much as I possibly can, because you never know when they're going to go out of business. So we're out of Rogers, went up the big hill, and we're up towards the campground and stuff now, and heading towards Columbiana. That was a relief because I was getting tired of driving by now. There's a place that's got the good chocolate milk. Don't have too long to go. I'm just about back. I think there used to be a big GMC truck dealer down here too. It was like, what's the name of that? Midway or something? And we used to live down this way too. Back in the olden days. This is Ohio Route 7, by the way. Market Street also, if you're from the Mahoning County and or Youngstown area. I don't think it's Market Street down here, though. This is Route 46. Can't believe I used to just get in the car and go all this way just to do it. Didn't have any specific thing in mind. I was just out exploring, looking for dirt roads. I got to do that again. I got to start looking for dirt roads. They're getting harder and harder to find. Here's that Firestone Farms thing on the right on the corner. They took a bunch of farm fields and turned them into, I guess, a golf course. I mean, Columbiana already had a golf course, but they tore that one down and built another one. Now they're building giant drugstores and everything else in there. They built a bunch of them newer houses, and back there was Heck Road where I had that big wreck in 1995 that gave me the bad concussion that nobody could diagnose. Till much later when I realized that there was something terribly wrong with me back then. And I had the exact same terribly wrong with me thing a couple of times later. There's old Jack Zembauer's on the left. He does good work. He's a mechanic. He's got a speed record at some track somewhere. I forget where it is. And that brings us to North Lima. This will be the end of the video. Well, thanks, folks. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to mash on that button down there and hit the like and subscribe and whatever else like them other guys say. Thank you for watching the channel. I greatly appreciate your patronage. Be careful out there, Nat. And with that, I shall see you later.